Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are finally back in Minecraft Triassic Park to begin work on kind of our first animal-specific exhibit. Previous episodes we worked on the Ishigalasto formation, and the Karoo Basin over there, but in this episode we'll be doing the first enclosure themed around a specific animal. Now this Triassic Park is going to be split up into two kind of main areas. The synapsid area and the sauropsid area. The synapsid area is going to be right here, and we're starting work on that today with our first enclosure. Before we get started though, as you might have seen, I have spent like 6-7 hours at this point working on the lab, and we've had some major work straight through here, and we end up in this room now fully dug out for the fossil thing with the new cloning system. We got all the new machines in, put the fossils in here, the microscope analyzes them, and there's a hopper thing right here, takes it down and automatically acid baths them. We're gonna have kind of a garden. Right now it's just empty. And after that we got two rooms right here. This is like the cloning room, so this stuff's gonna be used in order to make like the eggs, nodules, whatever. And both of these rooms have kind of privacy screens that you can put up. And then this is going to be kind of another kind of analysis system where it collects from the room above and places it in these chests, also with a privacy thing. We go above. This is 3 levels so far. Here's the analysis room, and across from it we have this thing which has a spiral tower that takes us to the top floor, the third one I guess. And you can look into our brand new greenhouse, which is specifically for all the plants we're going to be using with the synapsids. You can look out into the wild distance with sheep, and you can go through here to access what will be our kind of employee quarters. And what you might have seen is down here, this is kind of the room that I am most excited for. This is basically our factory floor, industrial center kind of room. So that's why I've got all these big multi-block machines, some cool, all that kind of spacey looking crap, and yeah, all kinds of stuff. Of course, it's all around IGN's area, which is still under construction. And pretty important here, we have the synapsid sector, the sauropsid sector, and other sectors. The sauropsid sector, and the other sectors are not complete yet, but we do have the synapsid one done, which, you know, this provides access into the greenhouse. And then through here we have our themed rooms for the synapsid area, just like we had elsewhere. If you're wondering where the second sphere thing goes, it leads to the top, and we're gonna have kind of a synapsid visitor center up there. Anyways, without further ado, let's get to work on our first synapsid enclosure. Right, people, ignore all the changes made to the lab. So in order to kind of make sure that all this stuff works, we're gonna try to make our first prehistoric animal with all this stuff. It's not gonna have anything to do with any of the animals we're doing in today's episode, just gonna be to make sure all of our systems are good and in check. And you know, if you want a guide on how to do this stuff, this works too. Alright, so the first thing you're gonna want to get is some fossils. Silurian, Devonian, Pleistocene, Triassic, cool. And we'll grab some of the Permian ones too, because those are kind of relevant too. Okay, so we lost 3 because I tested out like some of the system, but now we have all 40. So once you've mined these beautiful things, I mean, you can just mine them directly, but I'm going to do it like this with a geologic pick, break them, and you get yourself some raw fossils. Lovely. Alright, now that we have so many of these, we're going to put them in here. Now if we go down to the lower level here. Okay, this is so cool. This is so cool the way this is actually working. It'll be a bit more efficient, but yeah. Anyway, so we got the benzo solvent and oligopools from these machines. If I'm not mistaken, I did start some more over here, so I'm going to grab these too. Oligopool. Now we come back down here, and these are probably finished cleaning or whatever. Yeah, Telemachus, Smatasuchus, Benestella. For the next step here, we're going to place all of these in here. And upon coming out, they're all placed in these chests too. Alright, I'm starting to really get this process in my brain. Honestly, it's kind of fun, which feels strange, but it is fun running around in circles and using all these machines, and they're so animated and fun to watch. Alright, so as far as these clean fossils go, we have in fact run out of test tubes, but yeah, they're not difficult, so we should make some more easily. Got some cool fossils though. Let's find an adequate creature to use to test out this system. For Desmodasuchus, I think that would be a good choice. Make some Eudomorphodons. Atrosaurus, 2, 3, 4. And we got an Oligopool in here, an Oligopool in here, and there we go. Oh my god, I covered this on the stream, but it is still so cool. They spin. It's like an actual centrifuge. Wait for this, wait for this. Is this the plant? No, that's the animal one, this is the plant one. I feel like we should put up the privacy screen for this. They slow down and then they stop. There. Look at this, the hook. That one's doing it too. The hooks come down, they pull the test tubes out, and then they put them inside this Lego Forge oven thing. It looks awesome. We now have the nodules all down, and I decided we're gonna do this one. We should probably grab a few plants too. Alright, since I know the little hatcher greenhouse is probably not gonna be enough for this one. You know what, never mind. Alright, so here's the little hatcher greenhouse. Should work well enough. And with that, we have a baby, Desmodasuchus. Now, this is the Sauropsid, this is a Pseudosuchian, so we're not going to be covering these or building an exhibit for these for, like, probably, like, 10 episodes. But, you know, I thought it was cool to kind of test out the cloning process by making something. So if you have our name, if you have a name for our first homegrown prehistoric nature animal, leave it in the comments down below, and we will name this guy that next episode. Alright, so I got a bunch of these stone bricks, a bunch of cobblestone and stuff. So this right here is going to be the front right corner of our Synapsid Visitor Center. We want to figure out where this is going to go. We're not going to finish this in today's episode, but we want a general idea of where it's going to be, how it's going to look, so that we can figure out where we're going to put today's creatures. We're going to find out where we're going to put our first enclosure. Alright, so we are back once again in the concept world, and so for the first time we'll be using this nice light fence design that I've come up with, and I think this looks great and is going to work well for our almost farm-like creatures here. Alright, so with that we have the whole enclosure kind of spotted out right here, and next up is going to be planting stuff in it. Alright, so here's the enclosure. Since last time I have worked a little bit on our center over here, and I've gotten kind of the place where the path is going to go. And I think this looks great. It looks like a great, dense rainforest, and I think it's going to work very well for our creatures. Also, it looks great from above, too. So now that we have the enclosure done, it's time to get some creatures, so boop. Here is our herbivorous synapsid room. So here we go. I don't have glass in my inventory right now. It's how convenient. I'll put some andesite there. We got 21 eggs. Don't even know if there's enough floor space for that, but yep. Just gonna hatch them all. I guess we lost one. 20 eggs, I think. I heard glass breaking, so one of these is probably done. Yes, there's another nodule here. Alright, so all the rest of these are still cooking. Let's release one little Lystrosaurus. Yeah, so the rest of these, I guess this is the oldest one. Maybe it's the matriarch or patriarch. However, these prehistoric lizard parrots structure their social lives, and they're a lot. Okay. Alright, people, so we need 21 names for all of these Lystrosaurus, so leave them in the comments below, and they will be used next episode, hopefully. Alright, let's get a first load to move over. Yeah, so I accidentally hit one, and now these little parrot things are attacking me. Why? Why must they do this? I love their sounds, by the way. They were really annoying when they were all dense in one spot, but I do like kind of the. It's very ambient, you know. Alright, and with that we have 21 very loud Lystrosaurus in this enclosure. They can be heard from up here, and probably seen, but I don't see any. Alright, so once those things grow up, I'll do my whole preach about how you should suggest names in the comments below, but until then, I'm gonna get some more work done on this building. Alright, so here we have our fully grown Lystrosaurus. I like thinking them as they're kind of like parrot lizard-pugs, which yeah. They got like the parrot face and like the pug body and scales, so, well, kind of scales, you know. But these are Lystrosaurus. They are our first Dicynodonts. I believe all of our synapsids in this Triassic Park are going to be some form of Dicynodont. And their name means shuffle lizard. And they're quite interesting because they were like one of the most successful land creatures ever. They spread across the entire planet. You know, it was one giant continent, but still quite impressive. And these were found in South Africa at the very beginning of the Triassic. They only lived for like a million years into the Triassic or so, and they died out as soon as new stuff started developing following the Permian extinction. But in that short amount of time, they were so incredibly widespread. And we'll be creating other exhibits themed off of the, of course, Walking with Monsters final kind of segment that leads into Walking with Dinosaurs. And we'll be discussing some of the accuracies, some of the inaccuracies, and that should be really fun. But yeah, there's about 6 different species of Lystrosaurus, which are all different links. Talking about gaits with the Sawdinodude and the Sucus, all you know is that these have semi-sprawling gait. And yeah, that's Lystrosaurus. Let's see what the book has to say about them. Lystrosaurus, temporal range, Permian Triassic, high vegetation biomes. I mean, I think we did a pretty good job at that. Common, medium-sized herbivorous, Sawdinodude, Permian early Triassic. Yeah. Alright, sounds pretty good. So we have 21 Lystrosaurus, which means we have quite a lot of space for names. So if you have any names, please leave them in the comments below, and they will be named next episode. Alright, so to finish this episode off, after we've had a discussion about the Lystrosaurus and the synapsid area and all that crazy stuff, we're going to end it off by naming yesterday's creatures, and it's starting to rain. The Erythrosuchus. So we got one of them here. I love these so much. They're big boys, big mouths, big heads, and we're going to name all 3 of them. Today's names were selected from the comments. Comment down below what you want for the Lystrosaurus. By actually IGN, who's still out on his business trip, hopefully doing some good things for Site 11. But yeah, let's name all these creatures. First, we'll name this one Rasputin. Grigory Rasputin, of course, assistant to the Russian Tsar, representative of the Orthodox Church, and quite scandalous figure. Yeah, I think this is a pretty fun name. I don't know exactly why it applies to Urthosuchus, but I guess it works. So, there we go. And here we have our next one. This one can be Pac-Man. Of course, because they have big heads, like Pac-Man. This one's pretty simple, but love the name. And this can be Happier. Honestly, kind of nepotistic, but I'm not surprised IGN chose this one. So everybody, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment your name suggestions for Lizard-Parrot-Pugs as per usual, and comment thoughts on the lab, maybe ideas for new rooms or areas that are actually useful. And yeah, we'll see you next time. I'll be streaming a few times after this video goes out, so stay tuned for that as well. Goodbye.